Good evening. I'm Talia Duran-Butler and this is the Dulwich Centre Newsroom. Masters students from all around the world have gathered here in Adelaide this week for their Masters course. In this course, they've created a shirt through a story. Let's cross live to Auntie Shirley Simpson to describe the shirt.
Hello, my name is Shirley Simpson and I'm doing the Masters course. I'm an Aboriginal woman from Cherbourg. Many years ago I was working in a non-Aboriginal organisation and we all go for our little health checks. And the nurse, who was non-Aboriginal, she took all my measurements and she said because you're in this age group and this nationality, she goes, you're going to die of an early age. Or she stated what age I would die. And I said, no, I disagree. I disagree with you. That's not going to happen. Because I take very good care of myself. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I exercise. So, no, I'm going to smash that discourse. And I am smashing it. I'll be 60 next year and I am looking good.
Sorry, Auntie Shirley. In breaking news coming out of Canberra, it has come to our attention that today Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull and a small group of other white people have rejected the Uluru Statement of the Heart. This was presented to the Australian people on the 26th of May. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has suggested a return to a symbolic recognition of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in Australia's founding document. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull claims that the government have consulted a poll to determine the Australian people's position on the acknowledgement of the Statement of the Heart. Let's cross live to a poll.
My name is Toby Poll and I'm the elected representative of the Union of Polls. Thank you Talia and Dulwich Centre News for giving us this opportunity to make a statement to the Australian people. Well, may we say, as Poles we stand tall and proud of what we do. But we were not developed to make national responses to spiritual and political statements from the first peoples of this land. We were developed for marketing. We are good at what we do, don't get us wrong, but we know our limitations. We were not developed to determine the future directions of a country. We were not developed to come to terms with the histories of a continent. As Poles, we are known for having different opinions from each other. You have probably heard of the saying, if you put 3 Poles in a room, you will have 5 opinions. That's why we are called opinion polls. We rarely speak in one voice. In fact, this is the first and probably last public statement that you will ever hear from the Union of Polls. Deciding the future of Australia is up to the Australian people, not up to us as Poles. This statement is authorised by the Union of Polls. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Poll. Other polls have reported that they agree that it should not only be Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander people who respond to this. People on the street have expressed how disappointed they are that the Australian government have had such little regard, respect and belief in the Australian people's ability and sincerity to respond.
And we've been asking people on the street about this.
Yeah, well, that's not my experience as an Aboriginal man. I believe in the people in this country and I think we need to work towards recognition and a treaty.
And what do you think about this?
I've been coming to Australia for 30 years and I've talked to a lot of people, and I think the Australian people would really respond to this statement from the heart.
What do you think about this?
I think it's really embarrassing and we're going to look back in 50 years and wonder why the government didn't do something better.
Dulwich Centre is undertaking a response to this decision in the form of a project that seeks other statements from our hearts. This is with the intention of joining with the ripple effect. We're going to cross live to David Denborough now for more details on how you can add to this project. Thanks, David.
G'day, thanks Talia. The Uluru Statement of the Heart ends with these words: we leave base camp and start our trek across this vast country. We invite you to walk with us in a movement of the Australian people for a better future. So it seems to us that that invitation wasn't just made to politicians in Canberra, it was made to all Australians. And so it doesn't make sense that politicians get the last word. So this project is inviting all Australians, young and old, across every part of this land, to make statements from our own hearts about why we believe it's significant, vital, that we respond to this profound and generous invitation from the First Nations of this land. Now, for all of us, these statements will be personal. It's certainly personal for me because it links to my own family histories. My great-great-grandfather, Sir Samuel Griffith, was one of the main people who drafted the existing Australian Constitution. And he was a brilliant man, and if he was alive today, there's no way that he'd think the same ways that he did back then. There's no way he'd be involved in drafting a constitution that would be the same now as was then. I believe it's honouring our ancestors if we can find ways to redress the harms of the past. So I'm delighted to be part of this small project, and I invite you and everyone across the land to make statements of the heart about why we support the Uluru Statement. So please get in contact with us, and that'd be sensational. And thanks, Talia. It's a beautiful day down here. We'll cross back to you in the main studio.
Thank you, David. On behalf of the Dulwich Centre Newsroom, we thank you for the invitations made in this Statement of the Heart. On other news, students here at the Masters program have made a position to overtly name their pronoun. Over to you, Rosie.
Thanks to Leah. I'm so happy to be here today. The reason we are in fact naming our pronouns is because we've come to understand here at Dulwich Centre that our pronouns, the words that people use to describe us, are an important way that people can show us respect and care. And so that everyone in our community is able to be included in whatever way makes sense to them, we are naming our pronouns. My pronouns are they and them. When someone speaks about me, I ask them to use they. They are getting a coffee. They are drinking a glass of water. And so we're inviting everyone to name their pronouns, whatever they may be, and to share their stories of how they avoid misgendering people, using wrong pronouns or incorrect gendered language that doesn't fit with that person's gender. We look forward to hearing all of your amazing stories and smashing that discourse.
Thank you, Rosie. That sounds extremely significant. This has been the Dulwich Centre Newsroom. I'm Talia Duran Butler. Keep it real.